Good morning, everyone. My name is Osman Said from Ghana. This is a presentation on Policy Advocacy on Genetics and Genomics course 2024. My topic is, should genetic testing be mandatory for athletes in African countries to prevent genetic doping in sports? Introduction to genetic doping. Here, I will introduce you to genetic doping, and it is the use of gene transfer techniques to enhance athletes' performance artificially. Before, we had the traditional doping that involves the use of external substances like drugs. But then these days, there are genetic doping that involve the use of gene transfers that athletes sometimes use to enhance their sports performance. And the methods of this genetic doping are the gene transfer, the gene editing, and the gene silencing. I have detailed out in my notes below. My opening statement. Today, we face the growing challenge of genetic doping in sports. We must therefore take decisive action to preserve fairness and integrity. I therefore advocate for the mandatory implementation of genetic testing for athletes in African countries. This is to ensure fairness and also goes a long way of protecting the health of our athletes, whereby we secure a future where competition remains fair and inspiring for all of us to enjoy sports. My next slide. Here, I'll talk about the importance of mandatory genetic testing as a preventive measure. When we therefore adopt genetic testing, we have the proactive approach. And then this serves as a crucial tool in preventing genetic doping before it becomes widespread. By identifying potential cases early, sports organizations can take action to maintain the integrity of competition. And my second point is, we also go a long way of ensuring fair play. Sports is a very beautiful game, and then when we implement genetic testing as a preventive measure, it will help us identify the good hard work and talent of sports, and then therefore we eliminate bias, and also we protect athletes' health and well-being. Genetic doping carries unknown health risk, including potential long-term effects on athletes' physical and mental health. So therefore, the mandatory testing helps to safeguard athletes from dangers associated with these untested and unethical practices. So as I said earlier on, the need for mandatory genetic testing ensures fairness in competition, also protect athletes' health, ensure sports integrity, and also the ethical responsibility aspect of it. In this slide, we talk about addressing the ethical and social concerns. In implementing mandatory testing, you will definitely go through some problems. And here I want to address that. Ensuring that athletes are fully informed about the genetic testing process is crucial. So therefore, they must understand what the test involves, what it aims to detect, and how the results will be used. And then the second point is balancing ethics and fairness. By enforcing mandatory genetic testing, sports organizations fulfill their ethical obligation to ensure that competitions are fair and that no athlete has an unfair advantage through genetic manipulation. The other point is about public perception and trust. Transparency and ethical handling of genetic testing helps build public trust in sports organizations. When the public sees that measures are being taken to ensure fairness, they are more likely to trust the outcomes of the competitions and therefore makes it more interesting. This is the feasibility of implementing it in our African countries. There's the technological advancement. Recent advancements in genetic testing technology have made it more accessible and affordable. Portable and efficient testing kits are becoming available, which can be used in various settings, including regions with limited healthcare infrastructure. It will also help us build local capacity. When we implement genetic testing, it will require skilled professionals who understand the technology and can also interpret results accurately. In doing this, we will train healthcare professionals, laboratory technicians, and sports officials, which in the long way help us to build our local capacity. And then there's also international support and collaboration. There are anti-doping organizations like WADA. When we collaborate with them, it will help us also implement this in our countries easily and also provide us with the technical support and resources needed to implement genetic testing. They can offer us guidance on best practices, regulatory frameworks, and enforcement mechanisms. Since they have already started, they can guide us and also constructive argument. Learning from global precedent. This is a case studies for successful implementation. There's this genetic testing in major international sports like the Olympic Games. So the International Olympic Committee has been at the forefront of implementing anti-doping measures, including exploring genetic testing to ensure fairness. The experience of this in monitoring and regulating doping provides valuable insight into the challenges and successes of such programs. And the USAID has also implemented it, so we can learn from all these global perspectives, which will serve us as a guidance for successful implementation. However, in this slides, I'll talk about some challenges and solutions. In implementing genetic testing, we will definitely go through some challenges, which we have to foresee and also plan about the solutions to guide us. So there will definitely be high cost of implementation, limited infrastructure, and mistrust from athletes and stakeholders. With the high cost of implementation, international funding and grants can serve as a solution, and then also collaborating with healthcare systems also will help us with our infrastructure because they already have those infrastructure. So collaborating with them will make it a little bit easier. And then the mistrust from athletes and stakeholders, when we engage them to ensure transparency in testing. Conclusion. The implementation of mandatory genetic testing for athletes in African countries is not just a necessary step, but a vital one. As the landscape of sports continues to evolve with advances in biotechnology, the threat of genetic doping becomes increasingly real. By enforcing genetic testing, we ensure that there's a critical role in maintaining fairness, then which also goes a very long way in protecting athletes' health and well-being, and then upholding the spirit of sports. You should remember, sports is a very important entertainment games that brings all of us together. Thank you.